All right, what's up, guys? Matt here with OddsJam, just giving you 3 player props to lock in for NFL Week 10. So, player props are starting to get posted for this week's NFL slate, which means that we can take advantage of some early lines for these player props that might be a little bit mispriced as the betting markets first open up. So, I do this for main lines as well, totals, spreads earlier in the week, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, when lines first get posted for the following week. Love getting in on early lines because sportsbooks can sometimes have odds or player props or totals or whatever wildly mispriced when markets first open. And if you're able to line shop and take advantage of them, you can kind of find out which of these sportsbooks have the ones that are mispriced, have the player props that are mispriced. An easy way to do that is just to hop on OddsJam, hop on the positive EV page, and kind of go from there. Another way you can do that is use the OddsJam screen. But for this video, going to be looking at some positive EV player props. And the first one that I'm going to lock in here, and we'll just start with the top, is this Derek Carr under 1.5 passing touchdowns at minus 106 odds at BetRivers or Barstool or BetRivers, Barstool, Unibet, TwinSpires all have the same odds. I'm going to lock this one in on Barstool. I'm going to put just a half unit on this one. So let's chat about it, right? It's positive EV, which we know because it's on the positive EV page. But what does that mean? It means that we are getting better odds than the OddsJam perfect line calculates this player prop stat to be. So the OddsJam line, as you can see here, prices this at about minus 108. This number is pulled from a weighted average from all of the different sharp sportsbooks that do the best job at pricing odds. OddsJam backtested these sportsbooks, collected the data, found out which ones do the best job at pricing odds. And that's what goes into this number here. So anywhere in which you can beat these no big odds, it's going to be a profitable betting opportunity. So this play is minus 106 odds. The no big odds price is at minus 108. Good to go there. The next thing that I like to do before I even think about placing a bet, and this is something that you can do on your end, any play that shows up here, it's going to be positive EV, but there's additional stuff you can do. We're not leaving the OddsJam website. We're still staying on OddsJam. You don't need to do any outside research, but just looking into the plays themselves. Like if you just click anywhere in this little blue box here, it pulls up where every sportsbook prices odds for this play. And basically what we're trying to do here is just look at the rest of the betting markets and see, okay, is this minus 106, is the bet we're placing an outlier or not? We want to see where the outlier is. And in this case, the answer is yes, this minus 106 is an outlier. If we compare the rest of the sportsbooks, Pinnacle, which is the same thing as the OddsJam line, has it priced at minus 127. Pinnacle is on average, the sharpest sportsbook in the world. Another sportsbook that does a great job at pricing player props specifically is DraftKings. I don't know if it's because they use player data or the DFS data, or what, but DraftKings does a great job at pricing player props. Pinnacle minus 127, DraftKings minus 125. Even the rest of the books that you still want to give some weight to, Caesars minus 127, Tipico, the only book that's in the teens, minus 115. Bet365, minus 120. All of these books have the under as the significantly more likely scenario. They make it more expensive to buy, except for BetRivers, who's giving this to us at minus 106 odds. So this is a pretty good play. Derek Carr under 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's been a horrible year for the Raiders. Granted, they're going to get the win this week going against the biggest train wreck in all of sports. We'll see. The Commanders have had that title for years. We'll see what happens with Dan Snyder. The Colts are quickly becoming biggest train wreck in all of sports with what they did in terms of the coaching situation, which I don't need to get into. So I don't think Derek Carr will throw it a ton in this game. I think the Colts won't be able to score at all. I think that they're just going to run the ball down the Colts' throat, have it be a huge Josh Jacobs game, not needing to rely on Derek Carr a ton. So this is a play I like a lot. First one, Derek Carr under 1.5 passing touchdowns. The next one that I'm going to lock in here is Justin Fields over 58.5 rushing yards at minus 110 at Bet365. This is my absolute favorite bet of the night. I guess they're confirming my location. But this is my absolute favorite bet of the slate, this Justin Fields rushing prop. Let's see if they let me lock this in. If not, I might have to do it. Yeah, here we go. We're good to go. So this is going to be my favorite bet. I'm putting a full unit on this one. Justin Fields over 58.5 rushing yards. Let me just lock this one in or add it to my bet tracker real quick. All right, and let's chat about this one. So the play, Justin Fields over 58.5 rushing yards, minus 110 at Bet365. No big odds. Price this at about minus 111 if we can round up from minus 110.58. So the gap between those two numbers, gives you your positive expected value. Let's look at where other sportsbooks price it. Pinnacle has it as the favorite outcome at -118, as does every book except for Tipico, which has it at -115 each way. DraftKings has it as the significantly favored outcome at -135. And for plays like rushing yards, passing yards, something that has a high number, what is important to do is view the event page in a new tab, because it just pulls up where every sportsbook is pricing odds for this prop. So we see majority of them do have it at 58.5, except for two, or I guess except for one. Underdog has it at 59.5. So it does price it a yard higher. In terms of handicapping this, finally, the Bears realize that their quarterback is athletic and can run. He's had over 80 rushing yards in 3 of the past 4 games. He's had a rushing touchdown in the past 3 games. He's had double-digit carries in 3 of the past 4 games as well. And the Lions have one of the worst defenses, if not the worst defense in the entire NFL. No, I'm not saying Justin Fields is Jalen Hurts, but one of the games the Lions played against a rushing quarterback, Jalen Hurts just annihilated them with his legs. Justin Fields is at least capable of doing that with his legs. Obviously, he's not quite the passer that Hurts is yet, and the Bears' offense isn't nearly the same level as the Eagles' offense, but in terms of athletic ability, Fields is there. So he's gone over this stat in the last 6 games. He's gone, like I said, over 80 in 3 of the last 4. I think this is an awesome prop. I love this one. Justin Fields over 58.5 rushing yards as my second play. And last up, another running back that we are backing is Kenneth Walker over 77.5 rushing yards as well. It says the odds of this bet have changed, but it's still plus EV, -112 at PlayUp. No big odds have this at about -115. So if you don't have PlayUp, you can also get this at BetMGM at -115 as well. That is still a positive expected value play. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this in. I guess I need to re-log in to PlayUp. This is going to be another half unit play for me. We are looking at Kenneth Walker. I guess I need to re-add this to my bet slip, but we're looking at Kenneth Walker over 77.5 rushing yards. Just going to put a half unit on this one as well. That bet has been locked in. Let me add this one to my bet tracker. So I talked about the math behind it, right? The no big odds price this at about -116. If we can round up, we can get it at -112 at PlayUp. The closest sportsbook, BetMGM is close at -115. DraftKings has it at 13 cents higher at -125. And then Pinnacle is kind of an outlier here as well, all the way up at -152. So the majority of sportsbooks, looks like the true line of this should be priced kind of somewhere in between Pinnacle and the -125 DraftKings line. And then, of course, if you open this one up in a new tab, we're looking at Kenneth Walker rushing yards. We see that other sportsbooks like Prize Picks has it at 75.5. So this is also a great, if you use Prize Picks, a great player prop to go over on 75.5 rushing yards for Kenneth Walker. But look at the other sportsbooks. 78.5 is what Bet Rivers and Bet 365 have. They also favor the over, so they have it a yard higher, and they favor it. And then Underdog, another DFS site, has it at 79.5. So pretty good price, getting him over 77.5 at -112 odds. In terms of handicapping this one, the Bucs do generally have a good rushing defense, but they haven't been as good this year as we're used to them seeing. They've gotten smacked on the run by multiple teams, including the Panthers, who don't have a great running game, great offensive line, and Kenneth Walker and the Seattle rushing attack has just been incredible all year. So I like this one a lot. They're going to ride him in the ground. He's been amazing. Kenneth Walker has. So I think this is another good play as my third and final NFL player prop for week 10. Crazy that we're already in week 10, but that's all I got for you guys. So appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. Helps me out a ton, but that's all I got. So appreciate you guys watching and have a good one.